Audiobooks presents a Griot audio production of Departures by Adrienne Bellamy, narrated by C.C. Aisha Johnson, and directed by Morgan Robinson. Griot Audio celebrates the best in contemporary African-American fiction and nonfiction. This book is copyrighted 2004 by Adrienne Bellamy. This recording is copyrighted 2005 by Recorded Books, producer and publisher of Griot Audio. Amber, a feisty yet innocent young girl, has a mother with only three priorities: men, money, and how to get more of both. Luckily, there are other women in her Philadelphia neighborhood to look up to, women who better value their time between the sheets, for all the right reasons. And now, Departures.
Chapter 1. Amber. From what I hear, Lance and Grandma had a thing going. Yeah, I can believe it, because you know what they say about Pisces women. They are sneaky, though they act innocent. They can have the morals of an alley cat, and you'd never believe they were cheating. Grandma Fanny, my mother's mother, was indeed a Pisces. Grandpa, Oscar Porter, worked hard at the gas station and brought all his money home to Grandma. Grandpa was fine and younger than Grandma by about 14 years. He couldn't read or write. I can't remember where he met her, but he fell for her, and she's been running over him ever since. I loved Grandpa. I really loved him. I was his favorite thing in the whole world. He came home with juicy fruit gum for me every day, and most of the time had a dime for me to spend. He loved his other grandchildren too, but not like he loved me. He took the splinters out of my feet from the old wood floors, patted my head, and smiled at me all the time. He saved me from eating vegetables at the dinner table. He was also my favorite thing in the whole world. My mother, Paula, worked in a department store downtown for a couple of years. I've never referred to her as Mom, Mommy, Mother, or anything close to that. She was simply Paula to us because she wasn't the nurturing type, and she sure didn't treat her children in a motherly manner. Grandpa, who was actually my step-grandfather, took care of my sister Sydney and me while Paula worked. There was no real daddy around. I don't know who Sydney's father was, but Paula said his name was Roy. I've never seen him in my life, and I don't recall her ever seeing or talking to him. Sydney is 2 years older than me and moody and stingy like our mother. They said my daddy was Lance Resnick. Well, let's get the scoop on how they say I got here. How I arrived in this world. Lance Resnick would come by to see Grandma. You know, they had a thing going on. One day, Paula answered the door and, finding Lance on her doorstep, informed him that Grandma wasn't home. Paula was 19 and hot. Lance was 29 and eager. She asked him if he'd like to leave Grandma a note, and he said yes. She went to get a pencil and paper while he waited at the door. She came out and handed the paper to him and then stuffed the pencil down her bra. She told him if he needed the pencil, he had to go for it. Lance went for it and went back a whole lot of times for more pencils and more visits with Grandma, too. She, of course, was unaware of the entire situation. I arrived about a year later. Deep, isn't it? Real fucking deep. So, Paula was labeled a tramp during the pregnancy. Lance wasn't sure whether or not I was really his because of Paula's promiscuity. So he started ignoring her. Grandma was furious when she found out Paula was pregnant and had hidden it until she was almost 7 months. Let's not forget that I'm number 2 coming out of her womb because Sydney is bouncing around with no father either. Lance's family couldn't stand that tramp Paula and didn't believe he was my father. When I was born, everybody looked at me funny. Lance's family always stared at me when I was around, but I had to see the Resnicks because Grandma and their family were friends and all hung out together. When I was little, I somehow got worms. I recall being in the shed kitchen with panties down to my ankles, crapping on the floor with worms coming out. Grandma Fanny tried to tell me where they came from, but I really didn't care. I just wanted them out.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.